And so there was this incredibly detailed list. And what's going on in this passage is that Jesus is very blatantly breaking rules from the Mishnah. So one of the rules, for example, was that you weren't allowed to harvest grain. But what Jesus was doing there by picking up and putting rolling, they considered that harvesting grain, breaking the rules. And then he went into the temple, and you were only allowed to heal someone if they were suffering a life-threatening illness. But here's this man, no life-threatening illness. Jesus just disregards the rules and heals him. So what it looks like is that Jesus is just flippantly disregarding the Sabbath. Sabbath. You know, we don't need the Sabbath anymore. I mean, it looks like he's just sort of saying, I don't care about the Sabbath. To the contrary. He's actually doing the opposite. He is correcting the understanding of the Sabbath. He's saying, I am the Lord of the Sabbath. He is intensifying the importance of the Sabbath and saying, actually, the Sabbath is what I am all about. Why I have come and who I am. This is part of what it means to be human. First of all, to work, to contribute to society. So he's made you to work, he's made you to contribute, but he's also made you to rest. This is part of the rhythm of your humanity. So you see, this isn't just God like saying, take some vacation every now and then. This is actually life and death. It is so important to him that he actually made it one of the 10 commandments. Now, in modern society, things have become so individualistic and achievement-oriented that now we don't find our identity in our roles or family or tribe anymore. We find it in what? Our work. What we do. What is the first question that we tend to ask kids? What do you want to be when you grow up? And do you see what that's communicating to little ones? It's communicating that your identity actually rests in what you do. And it's up to you to figure out what it is. And we drink in this myth all of our lives. You are what you do. You are valued for what you accomplish. The grades in your report card, the college you get into. The more you achieve, the more people know your name, the better school you go to, the better company you work for, the better your position within that company, the more activities you're involved in, the more activities your kids are involved in, the more worthwhile a person you are, the more valued you are as a human. You know, I think one very nefarious side of this is that I've just been noticing this more and more, that when I ask people, how are you? The number one answer that I hear is what? I'm busy. Busy. That's what I hear 8 times out of 10. Y'all, busy is not a feeling. Jesus shows us what the Sabbath is all about. He takes the withered hand of this man and he makes it whole. And he's showing us the Sabbath is not a day to just keep rules. The Sabbath is a day to be restored, to experience withering made whole. You know, I love in Deuteronomy 15 where God tells the Israelites who had just been slaves to take a Sabbath to remember that you are not slaves. Slaves don't get a day off. You are not slaves anymore. So now, take a day off. Rest as an act of liberation that you now belong to me and not to your work. So Sabbath is a day to reclaim our identity as those who belong to God. And this speaks to what you should do on the Sabbath. Sabbath isn't necessarily just like lying on the couch and binging Netflix. You might also ask, what other activities nurture your relationship with God? What deepens your love for Him or for other people? What reminds you of what really matters in life? What brings restoration to your soul? It could be painting. It could be fishing. It could be walking. It could be taking a nap. It could be cooking. The point is that we're all different people. Some of us are extroverts and love being with people. Others of us find that horrible and they want to be by themselves. You know, what gives one person rest and makes them feel whole, like gardening, makes another person feel horribly burdened, like gardening. Jesus is your Lord of the Sabbath. He is the Lord of rest. You are more loved than you ever imagined, and it has nothing to do with what you can get done. So rest. Rest as a revolutionary act. We are no longer slaves. Would you with me rebel against the oppressive forces of achievement in the world? Would you rebel against the inner voice of shame that condemns us all? Will you rest in the finished work of Jesus for you? Friends, lay your deadly doings down at Jesus' feet. Rest in Him and Him alone, gloriously complete. Gloriously complete. Let's pray.